time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s from around the world. I'm Mosette, and here's your host, and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, welcome everybody to the episode 1124 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show as we get ready to take on the season finale and the Fan Jammies Awards. So do us all a favor, grab a desired sin or beverage of your choice, put your arms and hands inside the podcast at all times. Please put your seatbelt on, put your tray tables up, and put your seat up in the flow upright position. And what can I tell you? You know, I know Vegas is fun, but if you're going to coach a really important game, you might want to know the rules going into the game. Just throwing that out there for no one in particular. Anyway, we have a great show coming up for you. We're going to finish the season. We're going to finish our 11th season of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We're going to have our Fan Jammies at halftime. As you see, lots of guests. So let's get the intros. First is Maddie from merry old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Wonderful. Yourself?
Well, in the immortal words of Miss Taylor Swift herself, is it over yet? Honest to Christ. Do you know, we might talk about this later on, but I am so sick and tired of every time you see a football shot, you have to go to the booth to see what she's drinking. That's all they kept.
Beer.
Yeah, beer. She was drinking beer.
She's drinking beer.
Yeah.
Well, that madness may be over, at least temporarily. Over there is Little Mo. Hi, Little Mo, my son. Right there. Good. What's up with you? Anything new?
Nope.
We got a lot of snow in Indianapolis just now.
Boo.
Yeah. And it's NBA All-Star Weekend. I know no one here cares.
Oh, so boo.
In Indy.
Yeah. Down there, that's Will. Hi, Will.
Hey, Moses. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Doing okay. I did have a question, though.
Yeah.
If this podcast does go to overtime, which one of us are you going to fire to make a scapegoat out of it?
Well, that depends on if we win the coin toss.
We have to have
Good
double-digit
question.
lead to blow, though.
But as you see, I have some people lined up. And finally, from the fourth dimension is Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. What's it like being in heaven?
Calming. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying something different this time. For those of you watching, I had decided I would go ahead and get an Apple Vision Pro against my wife's, advice.
Every judgment.
Yeah. And just trying it out. I tell you what, though, this thing is super cool. Like, I've got zoom on here. It's totally like Tony Stark stuff when you see him doing the hologram stuff in Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can grab screens and throw them here, throw them there, do everything I want to do. And the Avi actually mostly looks like me from what I can tell.
Yeah, mostly.
So it's not
perfect
bad
for our show because we're not scary in it. So
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
this will help. But yeah, it looks good, Dustin. Also, we have three guests for the show. First is Jose Rodriguez. Jose, welcome back on the show. We were talking before twice.
Jose.
Thank you. I'm just here so I don't get fired.
All right. We will not fine you.
As are
We
we
will
all.
not fine you.
Much.
And down there is Chris Balding from England also. Chris?
Good morning, Moses. Are you well?
I am well. How about yourself?
Yes, not too bad, thank you. Keep me busy.
Quite the runner you are.
I do try.
Yes, you do a great job. TikToks about running are always entertaining to watch. Watch them all the time. Not stalking them or anything, but. And then down there, that big hunk of Canadian bacon, that is Andy. Don't call him Canadian Hawk. He's Northern Hawk.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to be back. It's nice to see all your pretty faces.
Not half as pretty as yours.
So
man.
sweet.
Such a sweet
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah, well, I was in
Sweet
there
faces
somewhere.
and Mo. There you go.
That's the story
Anyway,
of my
nice
life.
to be back. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you here. It's great to have everyone here. It's going to be a fun show. So let's see how that show's going to be run.
I want to be here. I
No.
want to quit.
12-man
don't wanna
Fan
be
Jam
here?
show format.
That's
four
'cause he
quarters
doesn't
at
have $20.
halftime. We may never get there, but we're going to try anyway. In the first quarter, we are going to talk about our mind-blowing predictions for the season, see how close we got to actually prediction something that happened during the season, this last season. Quarter two, the new coaching staff, we're going to talk about them. I'm going to tell you the difference between Mike McDonald and Michael McDonald, so anyone over 50 will get a laugh. At halftime, it is the Fan Jammies Awards show. What we've all been waiting for is I'm dressed up in my Fan Jammies for the Fan Jammies.
That his belly hangs out of.
In quarter three, there can be only one. I take 2 free agents of Seahawks, and I tell you, you can only keep one, and the other one has to be let go. And finally, our thank yous and goodbye for this season as we wrap up the 11th season of your 12-man Fan Jam show. Hey, guess what? We are, even if we're not recording, we are still all over the interwebs, so to speak. You can find us on Facebook, 12-man Fan Jam show. Facebook page will be alive and running during the off season with a lot of fun. Twitter or X, we're at 12-man Fan Jam show. We are watching this on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, of course. Lots of old shows. All our old shows are outtakes. 12-man Fan Jam show at gmail.com if you want to reach out to us. And yes, there are a couple highlights on TikTok under 12-man Fan Jam show. And we are a Seahawk Positivity production. So it's time to go to the first quarter and look at our mind-blowing predictions from 2023.
I forgot.
Okay, season's finished. The season finished for Seahawks 9-8. I did not make the playoffs, but they were close. They needed some help last week to not get it, but they did finish the season with a win in Arizona. And then, of course, we had our show about Pete Carroll had just been let go at that time, so we decided to make that final show more about Pete and less about the end of the season. Which means this quarter we can talk about our mind-blowing predictions. Now, everybody on the posse here, I won't embarrass Chris or Andy or Jose and say, you had a prediction beginning of the year if it went through or didn't.
I predicted we'd be 9-8 and we'd fire the coach.
Hey, there you
Wow.
go.
He was on it.
Dude,
That's
we
impressive.
need to hit Vegas. I'm telling you.
Jose, did you say anything that did or didn't come true?
No.
No.
Okay.
Chris?
Say shit.
Being honest.
I predicted Taylor Swift would be a bigger draw than the 49ers, but there we go.
And you were right.
I don't
Well,
feel like
these
that's
were
a bold
unfortunately
prediction.
on our show, and we'll start with Little Mo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Little Mo said that
Jason
JSN.
Perfect all year.
Little Mo said that JSN will lead the team in receptions this year. He did not. He was third in the team with 63, but third. Still about 20 catches off. But
screen pass.
that's the bad news. The good news is you're the closest that any of us got on anything. So,
I have no doubt.
for example, Dustin was bold enough to say that Kenneth Walker will beat Sean Alexander's rush record of 1,880 yards.
And he just left.
And I left. There you go.
And he left in frustration
Yeah.
because he only got 905 yards, which was just a little under half of that. So, yeah. Will,
Oh boy.
much to the laughter of Little Mo at the time, said that Myers and Dixon would both make it to the Pro Bowl. And Little Mo guffawed, and neither one did. Well, I guess the Dixon. No. Maddie got very. He did some mathing, and he decided that 96 penalties for 772 yards would be the Seahawks. 96 for 772. It was 111 for 954.
That ain't too bad though.
Well,
No, that's fairly close.
well, we would have had
Not
96
bad.
in like week 3, probably.
15
Yeah, that
penalties
was all-
off and
all one
200
game.
yards. I guess that's not bad. And then me, I went off and said the Seahawks would have the top 10 in passing and rushing offensively. They were 14th in passing, but they were 28th in rushing.
Correct.
So
You idiot.
just a little off.
Uh-huh.
What a dummy.
Before we put this season to end and we go to the new coaching staff, I'm going to start with Andy.
Hi.
Andy, this is the Seahawk Positivity channel. Give me something positive from last season that we can look back on.
Oh, Well, we got some real good young stars, right? So you mentioned JSN already. My big star for the year, my big positive, because hopefully he's gonna be a Seahawk for a long time, is Mr. Witherspoon.
Absolutely.
Very positive, very great draft, and like I said, I
Yes.
think he's gonna be the anchor for a new shiny defense coming up soon.
I love it. Chris Balding, what you got special? Something positive.
Something positive. I'm gonna say moving on from Pete. I think he was becoming a little bit stale, in a way, and getting a nice new coach. We're going to talk about it more in the next quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on from Pete and sort of, but I think he's still kicking around as sort of advisor or something like that.
Yes.
Within the
So
building.
In theory.
So yeah, I think that moving on and sort of getting a new coach and everything like that with some new ideas and stuff like that is going to be a real positive going.
A nice refreshing change. Jose, something positive.
I hate to sound like an asshole, but I'm going to. The coaches we just hired. That's something positive.
You're excited about him, huh?
We needed fresh blood.
Yep.
Like a vampire.
Like a vampire. We needed that fresh blood. I agree with you. Will, something positive from this season we haven't talked about yet?
I'm actually going to go with Geno Smith. Do I think he's the long-term answer? No, but after the end of last season, I was convinced he wasn't the short-term answer either.
Yeah.
And I think that he started out slow this year, got better. And obviously we just his roster bonus became guaranteed. Working around or possibly trading him for value. It could happen. But he's played well enough. He's played well enough, and Drew Lock, when he came in, played well enough that we're not locked into having to take a quarterback in the first round or something like that.
Thank God.
We have plenty of options, plenty of ways we can go, and that I think is.
I like that too. Dustin, you're back from apparently a seance. Can you?
Yeah. What happened was I lost audio altogether. I couldn't hear anything, so I had to go out and come back in.
No one really asked for the explanation.
No, why don't you sit up and act like you belong here?
Oh, hey, Dustin, something positive for the season.
Relax, man. Just relax.
Something. Before I do that, could I hear what was my mind blowing prediction that was wrong?
You said that Kenneth Walker was going to beat Alexander a rush record of 1,880 yards, and he had 905.
What a dummy.
Okay, that's a fail.
I don't math, but that's bad.
No.
So positive from this season?
Yeah.
I liked a lot of what the receivers did. Actually, JSN, Metcalf, and Lockett.
Yeah.
Those guys, they did their thing for the most part. Had a lot of positive plays, a lot of touchdowns. They played really well. I liked watching them out there. I know Chris was talking about we're gonna skip to the stuff, looking forward to next season and the next quarter. But yeah, I think with those guys on the roster, I feel like we're gonna have a positive outlook going forward with those guys and what they're able to do. So
good, Matt.
A couple of things for me. I think the first thing to say, it was positive to see Bobby Wagner back on our side of the field. I think that's always a positive where he belongs, and it was good to see him back. And I think the other positive thing from this season is that Will Magic head rubs are a thing.
Yes,
and they are catching fire. People are doing them all across America now. So
if you join us on our Facebook page during game day threads, you would know.
Hockey game. I'm seeing head rubs everywhere now.
Everywhere.
Head rubs
for no
and
reason.
Goat
just head rub
sacrifices.
attack on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Little Mo, positives.
Who you talking to?
Who do you think?
I mean, Little Mo's one person.
I mean, y'all said everything.
How about the fact that you and I got to watch Jason Myers win a game for the Seahawks with the last second field goal? I think that's pretty exciting.
Hell yeah.
I was just happy I was there with Andy.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
All right. So this love
Sweet.
fest will continue. Let's go ahead and end the first quarter.
Alright.
That's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up, we are going to talk. We've talked about the season from last season. We're going to put that away now. It's time now to talk about the coaching staff. We got the award show coming up at halftime. We've got There Can Only Be One, the season finale, the 12-man Fan Jam show, Fan Jammies. They're all coming up. You're watching the 12-man Fan Jam show. If you watch long enough, you're going to see something really, really stupid. We'll be right back after this.
They don't have to watch that long.
It's already happened.
It's usually like from the start.
Yeah. Pay attention, people.
If you watch long, that is stupid.
You are watching the 12-man Fan Jam show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the second quarter.
Welcome to the second quarter of a very special season finale and Fan Jam Awards edition of your 12-man Fan Jam show. That's Will. That's Matt. That is Dustin. That's Little Mo. And we have special guests Andy Northernhawk, Jose, and Chris. All here from England, from California, from Canada, and Washington, and Indiana, and places all over the place. So,
Of the world.
So, second quarter, we promised we were going to talk about the new coaching staff. We're done with the season 9-8. We're moving forward. First thing Seahawks did was said, Coach Carroll, we want to try a new coach. And they hired a defensive coordinator from the Ravens, Michael McDonald. Chris, what was your initial feelings? And since other staff members have joined, what is your thoughts so far? And of course, it's very early.
It is very early. I've listened to two or three press
in
conferences.
England or for the coach?
But yes,
Both.
Yes. We'll just go with
Yes.
yes for that. I've listened to two or three press conferences that they've done, and listening to Mike McDonald, he's really bringing in that that sort of youthful vigor, shall we say, on that, and he really hopefully he will bring across that sort of tough Ravens defense. Obviously, he's had the pleasure of working under both Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh, because he worked at Michigan as well.
yes.
So we're going to see loads of stuff there. And then you sort of look at who the other coaches that he's brought in around him. You've got Ryan Grubb, who sort of Washington fans will know, because obviously he's the former OC at the Huskies. And he was going to Bama or
Long illustrious,
going to Bama, wasn't he?
career in Alabama. Yeah.
Yep.
He was there
Roll
long
Tide.
enough to check out of the hotel.
And then you've got Aiden Durday coming from Dallas. Obviously a fellow Brit, which is really interesting to see. It was a bit different watching the press conference or the interview he did with Seattle Sports Radio, and actually hearing an English accent on there was quite strange. Hearing a London accent, and sort of it was really interesting to listen to him. He said he was going to make mistakes. He put his hands up straight away and said he's going to make mistakes. He is learning. He's going to learn, but he's also going to bring back a bit more accountability to the role, or accountability to the players as well. And that's really refreshing to hear. I think they're going to sort of really sort of make it right. It's up to you guys now. We'll teach you, we'll help you, but it's going to be down to you guys again. So,
you damn foreigners
really
taking American jobs again. Andy, what are your thoughts?
I think Pete was past his time. So I think over the last couple of seasons we've lost, and probably actually even won a few games where I think we were outcoached. So I'm happy that we're getting some new blood. My only concern, and obviously Mike comes, he didn't hold too many positions for very long, but every time he changed, he progressed, right? He was getting promoted essentially. So I think that says a lot about the man. My only concern, if there is one, is being that he's such a defensive-minded coach. Are we going to run into that same, run and grind football? I think we got a lot of great weapons on offense that I don't want to see get muted by a defensive-minded coach. You know what I mean? So but I'm overall, I think it's a great move. I'm excited to see them all work together, and hopefully this breaks us out of the bit of a rut of average that we've kind of been running for.
I certainly hope so as well. Jose, anything do you want to add?
Yeah, these new coaches are unexperienced but talented, and that makes me nervous but excited.
Yeah.
At the same time, kind of like a virgin. I'm not, if I can say that. If not, oh well.
I'll allow it.
Nice.
I'll allow it. Will, it seemed to me as we were looking at coaches, everyone was getting their coach, and we were just kind of sitting there. And all of a sudden, Detroit and Baltimore fell out of the playoffs. And I know that the offensive coordinator for Detroit was a big name that people were linking with us, as well as McDonald. And once the offensive coordinator of Detroit said, "I'm not going anywhere," it didn't seem long before we picked our guy. Do you think we were waiting this whole time for him?
I really do. I think that was pretty clear. I think McDonald was our first choice from the get-go.
I think so too.
I remember, he was one of the names I think that came up during our last show. We were talking about a bunch of different people. Dallas's defensive coordinator, our former DC, is giving me right.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Thank you. A lot of people were saying that it was he was the front runner. He was the odds-on favorite. Then we had that playoff game. They had that playoff game where Green Bay ran it down their throats. We're like, ooh, maybe not such a good idea. But I do think it was clear though that this decision was made right around the time that we were learning that Pete was gone. It's like, this is who we're targeting. This is who we're going to get. And kudos. I mean, who knows how it'll work out, but kudos to Schneider and this front office for identifying someone and getting the guy that they clearly wanted.
Yes.
He's brought in some good talent. I loved not just Grubb, but the O-line coach, former Huskies O-line coach. I love those picks in and of themselves, and I love it because it screws over Kalen DeBoer in Alabama.
Leslie Frazier was a wonderful pickup.
Yeah, Leslie Frazier gives the locker room a little bit of gravitas. You got that older, wiser mentor figure, which I think you need for a head coach that's 11 years younger than I am, which is really weird. But I love the hire so far. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I could be his father. Matt, your thoughts on the hiring?
I'm trying to think where I was when I heard the news, because it came through on the phone. I thought, oh, we've gone defense again. Okay. And it doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all. I was a little bit like Andy. I'm thinking, oh, are we going to get a bit of offense? If we get an offensive coordinator in here as head coach, are we going to get a bit more explosive offensive action? Well, okay, well, defense wins championships. And so on that sense, I was like, okay, I can go defense again. I was pleased in some ways it wasn't Dan Quinn, because I think Dan Quinn was just an extension of the Pete Carroll era yet again.
I do too.
So that clean break was welcome to me. I agree that the whole Durde's English accent threw me somewhat when I heard it for the first time. I think, oh, you're from London. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I mean, I think that, well, let's be clear, they ain't done shit yet.
Right.
And until such times as they do something for me to be moany about, I really can't complain. I think going from the oldest coach, well, I think he was almost the oldest.
He
coach,
was.
I think.
Yeah, he was.
By like a month.
By a month to the youngest coach. Well, we do everything by extremes, and I agree with Will. I think John Schneider yet again does that thing where he just won't seem to. Once he's got somebody in his sights, he will pursue until he gets what he wants, and he's done it again.
He did it again.
Obviously, as I say, they've not done shit yet, but we will see what happens when we kick off the season. But again, defensive. Let's have a look, see what they do. Roll the dice.
I agree. Little Mo, your thoughts?
I'm with Matt. Well, I was kind of, not shocked, but the fact that we went with the defensive guy again, I was like, okay. But I think it came down to the fact that there were no really offensive options. All the top coordinators were defensive coordinators. I'm going to say this PSA to everyone on Twitter: stop saying the Seahawks are going to draft Michael Penix just because we got the offensive coordinator. Please. I'm so sick of hearing that.
Agreed.
All over the place. I don't want a guy who has full season-ending injuries at quarterback to be a quarterback in the NFL.
And the fact that they did that with Pete Carroll. Oh, Reggie Bush is going to be a Seahawk. Oh, this guy's going to be a Seahawk because he played with Pete at USC. And it's like they don't. It's not that big of a deal when you get to this level. I don't think.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Since I wasn't here for the last show, since I'm the only person on this show who knew Pete Carroll personally,
true.
I can say I was sad to see him go, but I knew it was time for him to go after the last 2 games against the Steelers and the Cardinals, where like the players just gave up on him. I'm like, okay, time to go.
Yeah. And we talked about this last show, Jose. I always think of Mike Holmgren did a talk show, and I used to be able to get those when I had the Sunday ticket. And one time they were playing the Giants, and it was, I think Coughlin had been there a while, and they said, Coughlin was on the hot seat. What do you think of that? And Mike Holmgren said, I think you can be somewhere too long, no matter how successful you are. You can be somewhere too long, and I think of that every time Pete would get to his 10th, 11th, 12th year. I'm thinking, there isn't, there's nobody on this panel that loves Pete. I mean, as much as we all love Pete. We're all thankful for him, but I think you can't be there too long. And I think it's time for some fresh blood. Matt?
And I think Belichick also displayed that. Had he have retired at the same time as Tom Brady left, I think he would have left as the greatest coach of all time, no arguments ever given, la 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 la. Unfortunately, he didn't, and showed that actually most of that win was probably down to Brady rather than Belichick.
Right.
Yep.
Dustin, your thoughts on the new coaching staff so far?
Well, first of all, Holmgren said 10 years was his cap. After 10 years, the message gets old. So that's that. But so I was happy that we didn't get DQ. I thought that it would have been too much of the same. I'm pretty sure I said that on the last show.
You did.
Yeah. And so after we got McDonald, I started listening to the press conferences. I've done that. I've listened this week to pretty much every press conference and every interview that I could find that these guys were doing. And while it concerns me that none of them have ever had the position they're currently in at a professional level, I do really, really like their mindset. There's some common themes there already in the interviews. They have what they call like a growth mindset, and and communication seems to be key, which is awesome. I really, really, really like that the defensive coordinator. It was a little off-putting, honestly. The first time I heard him talk, I was like, "Oh, wow, he's British. That's different." I did not expect that.
Watch out.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop for a second. But I really, really liked what he had to say. He was talking about, I think it was with Stacy and Bump on a local channel here. Michael Bumpus, who was a wide receiver for the Seahawks. Yeah, he said something to the effect that they asked him what he likes about coaching, and he said he likes teaching, and he gets excited about putting these game plans together, and these classes essentially together about what he wants to teach. And he says, but it's not always received well. And he was like, and when I come across that, what I have to understand is that when I put these classes together, it's not for me. I'm putting them together for the guys in the room to learn. He's like, so if it doesn't come across the way I want it to, then I need to, talk to the individual, talk to the people, understand what they need to learn. Essentially is what he's saying. Like, how do I get through to you? If I didn't do it the way I wanted to, how do I get through to you? How do I teach you in a way that you can understand? And I think that with a something like the NFL, playing things at a high level, communication is key. And when you have a guy that understands, and it's not just him, because the theme has been through with all these guys in every press conference, all the interviews I've seen, communication is going to be something that's huge for them. So, and they're looking for ways to communicate better and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Good.
And like you were giving Shanahan shit earlier about guys not understanding how the overtime rules work, right? That's a communication error. And our coaching staff coaching staff currently is focused on communication and focused on finding ways to make people better and understand things better. And if you understand things, you play fast. You play fast. You're not thinking.
Yeah.
You're going to be better at what you do.
Yeah.
So overall, I love the philosophy and what I've seen in what they're doing. So we'll see how it translates to the field. But so far, I'm impressed.
Good. It's funny you say communication, because as we go to end the quarter here, I want to communicate something. And the next section is brought to you by the AARP. There's a famous singer named Michael McDonald, and our coach is Mike McDonald. So I kind of investigated for people that are my age and older that might confuse the two. This next section's for you, as I tell you the difference between Michael McDonald and Mike McDonald. Okay, so just to recap for you, if you don't know, Michael McDonald is a 13-time nominated, 5-time Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter. Okay?
We have that in common, yeah.
Mike McDonald is the head coach of the Seahawks. So they do have some things that get confused. For example, Michael McDonald sang with the Doobie Brothers. Mike McDonald caught his brothers smoking doobies.
Almost the
There's the
same.
difference.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Not
Allegedly.
law.
Michael McDonald made a song for the movie Running Scared. Mike McDonald makes quarterbacks running scared. So,
and he's also never heard of that
See
movie.
what you done there? See what done there?
Again, yeah, kids, look it up. Michael McDonald once sang about a long train running. Mike McDonald said absolutely no runs as long as his defense is on the field. Michael McDonald, and see how great this is? Isn't this beautiful? Michael McDonald sang about
really
what
good
a
so
fool
far.
believes. Mike McDonald believes a fool would try to run on his team on third down. Michael McDonald sang about taking it to the streets. Mike McDonald wants to take it to the NFC East. And finally, Michael McDonald keeps singing, I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. I can do a great Michael McDonald. Keep forgetting we're not in love anymore.
I can believe you, because I have no idea who that dude is.
Mike McDonald keeps texting, I keep forgetting I'm not on your staff anymore, to Coach Harbaugh. So there are your differences between McDonald and McDonald.
Thanks, Dennis.
If you are older than 50, you will find that hilarious. Okay.
I am.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Damn.
And with that, we go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Shut all the way down.
It's been nice having Andy on the show, by the way. No. Halftime now, we're going to actually do our award show. It is your 11th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Awards, the Fan Jammies.
I can't
And
wait to get
those
my
are
prize.
coming up with or without Andy. And they'll be coming up right after this.
You are watching the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Yes, live from, well, just about everywhere. It's the 11th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Show Awards Show, and I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Moses, and we have a time to salute another great Seahawks season by taking the best of the very best and giving them Fan Jammies. So glad you could be here. It was quite a season. Congrats to the Chiefs again. This year ended like last year. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and the Seahawks fans are once again second guessing how they feel about Geno Smith. Because, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes is starting to draw closer and closer to comparing with Tom Brady. It's got Tom a little nervous, I hear. Brady was so nervous about it that somebody found him in the Super Bowl equipment room trying to deflate Mahomes' balls. I guess. Hey,
Allegedly.
listen, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, people, all right? And Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid. I mean, I know he took the last chicken wing in the lunchroom, but, get over it. The Seahawks ended the season and ended the coaching career of Pete Carroll, which means there's a Seahawk gum wrangler out of a job as well. We went from the oldest head coach to the youngest. Going oldest to youngest is kind of like what people do when they go to Epstein's Island, but we won't talk about that.
No.
Too soon?
Too
The
soon.
49ers once again blew a double-digit Super Bowl lead. They haven't won a Super Bowl since Forrest Gump was in the theaters and Ace of Base was on top of the charts. There are people turning 30 years old who have never seen a 49ers Super Bowl victory. But it could be worse.
And they should be
I
thankful.
was 3 months old.
It could be worse. You could be the Cowboys. And everyone should be thankful they're not the Panthers. My God. Talk about a teal and black hot mess express. That team. They are so bad that next year they're going to start the games by playing the way we were instead of the national anthem. And that's too bad. I see some of my posse is here, of course. Will is here. Hi, Will.
Hi.
Another Friday night, huh, Will? Here we are. Yeah. Well, it beats watching your cat lick herself and get all jealous, I guess. This is, Will hasn't been this excited to be somewhere since he learned that Jar Jar Binks was wiped from the Star Wars universe. That made me
in all fairness, that is something to be excited about.
It is, and Dustin is here. Kind of. Good old tiny Dustin. Dustin joins. Which means he called his homies the Keebler Elves and told him he was busy tonight. Dustin is so small he needs a backpack to carry his cell phone. And I shouldn't make fun of him because he has every weapon that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had in their arsenal. So I should back off. But then again, all I have to do is throw him a pizza and it'll be fine, I guess. I don't know. And Matt from Merry Old England. Matt is here from England. You guys remember England, don't you? That's that country whose king won a Tony for only being on stage for about 10 minutes in Hamilton.
Nice.
Yeah. Matt is British, and I would say his sexual preference, but just saying he's British pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? And there's my son, Little Mo. Little Mo turned 18 recently, so now I can roast him like everyone else. The only pull-ups Little Mo does is to the drive-thru at McDonald's.
That's good. That's good.
Nothing excites Little Mo more than when plans are made and then they're all of a sudden canceled.
Oh my Lord.
I swear, if he would cut open, pizza rolls and chicken nuggets would come out of his body, but we won't go there. We have guests. Jose is here. Jose, why he wants to be here all the time is a mystery. I have no idea, but he always is, and he always is. Jose thought growing up, a poncho was something you did when you hit someone in the face, but poncho.
What?
And then there's Chris, also from Merry Old England. Chris Balding, an unfortunate last name, Chris Balding. Nobody's last name should be an adjective, especially one describing the fear of every man over the age of 50. That's too bad. We pray for you. And Andy, Andy, my tall drink of Canada Dry. Look at you. Andy is so Canadian. He and his missus only have sex Canadian style, which is doggy style, so they can both still watch the hockey game. So,
amen.
Before we start the actual awards, I'd like to tell you how the winners were chosen. People from around the world voted on their favorites in each of the categories. Those voters were then tabulated, and a list of winners was placed into a sealed envelope. That envelope was placed into a bigger envelope. That envelope was placed in an empty jar of Hellman's mayonnaise. It was then secretly transported to the bottom of a well where a strange little long black hair girl not haunts it nightly. It was then taken in the middle of the night by a ghost hunter named Joe. flown to a private jet to be placed under a pile of boxes somewhere in Mar-a-Lago. I then snuck in and distracted the owner of said room of Mar-a-Lago by having biracial homosexual atheists make out on his front lawn. While he jumped out to save America from this abomination. I gently tiptoed in the room, grabbed the envelopes, brought them here, and that's how they got here.
Wow.
Our first award is for Offensive Player of the Year. And it's a very good. Oh no. Oh God. No, Russell, you're not nominated.
It's a whole lot.
You are not get off this. You're not here. You're not nominated, Russell. Get off, Russell. Sorry, everybody. Russell's not nominated, but here's who is nominated for Offensive Player of the Year. And the winner for Offensive Player of the Year, the Fan Jammy, goes to DK Metcalf. Unfortunately, DK could not be here with us this evening.
What?
Accepting
Did
the
you
award
ask
for
him?
on his behalf as well. Will?
I have prepared a brief statement in deference to my fellow cast members. I will not be taking my shirt off at this time.
I
Well done.
appreciate you.
That's good.
As a 5-time winner of the DK Metcalf lookalike contest for 12-Man Fan Jam Show, I am honored to accept this award on his behalf. I am looking forward to several more great seasons with the Seahawks, and this is the way.
All right. Well done.
Is that you, DK? How do you get on? How do you get here?
Amazing. Just amazing. Well done. Now it's time
DeKalen,
for
is that you?
Why, yes.
It's now time for Defensive Player of the Year. A player who would not stop teams from scoring. Surprisingly, Jason Myers' missed field goals are not on this list, but we'll move on.
One.
These are your nominations. And the Defensive Player of the Year, the Fan Jamming, goes to Bobby Wagner. Unfortunately, Bobby could not be here with us to accept the award. So accepting on his behalf is Dustin. Dustin.
Dustin.
Everyone close your eyes and concentrate real hard, and Dustin will come back to life. Dustin, can you hear us?
He's gone.
Dustin.
Ask about Bobby Wagner's mom.
Dustin.
Oh, and he's gone.
Well, I'm sure Dustin would say, yeah.
I'm
Congratulations.
small and stupid.
Next is Game of the Year.
Yes.
And these are the nominations.
nuts.
And the award for Game of the Year, the 12-man Fan Jam Show, Fan Jammie, goes to Seahawks 20, Eagles 17. The Eagles could not be here because they were still busy falling into the abyss that they started halfway through the season. But Maddie is here to accept for them. Maddie?
Well, we didn't accept for them in the end because I couldn't get hold of any of them, but I could get hold of Drew Lock, who basically told me that apparently you can put that shit on him. So well done, Drew, and all of the Seahawks for beating the Eagles.
When it does?
God, you're white.
Or something?
Does this thing? I don't know.
This thing, right.
The backpack thing.
The
yeah.
backpack thing.
That's right.
Backpack.
Well done. So we will put that on Drew Lock. Congratulations. And now it's time to look at the Posse Challenge competition. The Posse Prediction Challenge. Every year, we make predictions, prognostications, and we give game balls for each game. We match our picks from the show with 6 other people in a friendly competition known as the Posse Prediction Challenge. This season, between Team Posse, myself, Will, Matt, Dustin, Satsman, Mark, and Little Mo against Team 12.
I don't want to be here.
Jose, Chris Baldy, Mike Pascal, Jimmy Foreign, and Andy, Northern Hawk, and Becky. The final team standings, the winners for this year overall were once again Team 12, 148 to 133. Congratulations, gentlemen and ladies. Does anybody want to say anything on your team's behalf?
Yeah.
Of course.
How did we win with me on the team?
Well, because
we'll get to that in a minute.
Because we had Dustin and Little Mo on the team. That's why.
Nah, I carried. What are you talking about?
You carried. You only carried because you're at the bottom. That's it. We carried everyone on top.
Oh, I mean, I'm always at the. Never mind.
We won't mention about the regrets that certain people might be having about transferring team members.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on this team. This team sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, I was originally sad to get kicked off Team Posse. Not no more.
Not no more. No. Congratulations. The final individual challenge scores, however, did finish up quite interesting. Last year, we decided to dedicate this award to a longtime 12-man Fan Jam Show member, Tom Lucas, who's on the show a few times, who passed away suddenly a few years ago. He was also very good on this. He actually won one year, I think. And so we decided to make the individual champion the Tom Lucas Award for them to name it. So as we move on and see how that went, Dustin finished eighth place with 18 points.
Top
7th
10.
place was a tie between Little Mo, Jose, and myself.
Get mad at him too.
6th place
Get mad at Moses.
was Mike at 22. 5th place was Statsman Mark at 23. 4th place was Maddie, who had a big charge.
Woohoo!
3rd place went to Andy and Becky.
Baby.
Geez, we have 3 people left for the possible championship.
Oh.
And I'm proud to say that the winner of the Tom Lucas Award of this year is Jimmy Foreman for the 2nd year in a row.
Nice job, Jimmy.
Jimmy won 30, Will and Chris at 26. So close. Just not enough to overcome Jimmy. It was not available for comment because he's out playing with his band. So I'm sure right now he'd like us to say, but we'll let that go for now.
Play some Skinner.
Play some Skinner. And now we'll go to some other awards that we have from the show. Halftime during the show, we always did trivia competitions. We did 23 competitions this year. And every year I like to salute the overall champion.
Oh, I wonder who that is.
I will start with the 2 that are not eligible. Matt, you won 3 awards. You won 3 times. Little Mo, you won 4.
Yeah, but Matt was gone a lot.
So it comes down to Dustin and Will. But before I announce the winner, I would like to announce
kind of crazy.
Once again, we've named this award over somebody as well. Longtime friend of the show, Posse member when he can. Still very much. We talk to him. I talk to him every week. I think Dustin does as well. Statsman Mark, who was notorious for having a miracle if you got a question right. So I decided to name the trivia champion last year the Statsman Mark Award. And this year, the Statsman Mark Award for the second Statsman Mark Award goes to Will with 10.
Shocker.
Over Dustin, you had 6. Will, twice in a row, you've become the Statsman Mark Award winner for individual trivia champions. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Will's come a long way. Will's come a long way.
Every game. He's got to give himself a little rub every time he plays.
Will's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yes.
That damn shiny forehead.
That's what it is. So congratulations to Will 2 times in a row. So on a trip on the halftime. But we also have some other special awards. This season, we want to give out some more. So the first thing I did was ask Will, who does the news all year, to come up with an award. Will, you want to present what you did?
Well, I came up with an award for my favorite news story of the year. I've named it the Jim Bob Cooter Award because when he was a coach in the NFL, I used to love it whenever there was a news item that had anything to do with Jim Bob Cooter.
How could you not?
True.
For obvious reasons. So this year, the inaugural Jim Bob Cooter Award goes to a story I did for show 1110, the Bengals edition, highlighting that the Browns were getting ready to start their 36th starting quarterback since they came back into the league in 1999. And I'm not going to run through all 36 men again, but Moses, do you have a clip of that?
I do, as a matter of fact. So here is that award-winning clip from episode 1110, and Will running through that list.
The Browns will be starting quarterback PJ Walker on Sunday, which is interesting because Walker makes the 36th starting quarterback for the Browns since they re-entered the league in 1999. So lack of continuity in Cleveland has been the norm. Walker follows in the footsteps of Tim Couch, Ty Detmer, Doug Peterson, Spurgeon Wynn, Kelly Holcomb, Jeff Garcia, Luke McCown, Trent Dilfer, Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn, Ken Dorsey, Bruce Gradkowski, Colt McCoy, Jake Seneca Wallace, Brandon Whedon, Thad Lewis, Jason Campbell, Brian Hoyer, Johnny Manziel, Connor Shaw, Josh McCown, Austin Davis, Cody Kessler, Robert Griffin III, Deshaun Kaiser, Kevin Hogan, Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, Case Keenum, Nick Mullins, Jacoby Brissett, Deshaun Watson, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
There was some legends on that list.
I bet right now in Cleveland there's some radio shows. If you can name all the quarterbacks, you'll get free tickets. I looked it up. That is 1.5 quarterback per year, which doesn't sound like much, but it's a different 2 quarterbacks every year. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way up.
Who do we appreciate?
None right? None of them. Well done, Will.
Running through those men.
That was quite a.
There's Will running through the men again.
Quite an exhaustive listing of men you just went through.
Makes you proud.
It was there. Quite body count. So the first annual Jim Bob Cooter Award for the best news story. We also had an injury report with Dr. Dustin. Dr. Dustin, do you have an award to give out for your season?
I do indeed. Let me get back to Tony Starking this shit and moving things around.
Do I need to get you a drink if you're going to be Tony Stark?
You're more like Patrick Swayze in Ghost.
No, like this whole setup is like I have things everywhere. I just bring them in and move them around. It's like
dude,
Tony
it's just
Stark
your hands. That's so creepy. It's just it's your body and your hands, just hands.
The head
just reminds me of like iRobot when he's throwing stuff around the screens on there.
There it is.
Yeah, a little bit like that too. Yeah, so the award I was entrusted to give out this year is inspired by the Seahawks of the past that were the most dedicated to missing games. Players such as CJ Procise, Rashad Penny.
Uh-oh. He dropped again.
Everyone close your eyes and concentrate. Get the Ouija board. We'll bring him back. From the Nathan Warren, I'm going to ask Matt. Matt.
He's having a whole conversation with himself.
He is.
This is not
He's thinking I'm killing it right now.
No one's laughing.
He really is.
He is.
Man, they're
No one can hear
laughing.
him.
They're talking. I am really killing it right now. Okay, sorry.
Best
Matt,
segment ever.
we'll move
That's
on.
the finest moment.
I don't know what he is.
going remarkably well.
Hey, Matt.
It's very
It's very
ironic that
fashionable.
he loses his audio during the injury report. Go figure that out for a minute.
And now he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And
he's
he's
gone.
gone.
Hey, now it's the very fashionable and very meteorologically enhanced Maddie from Merry Old England to give us award. Maddie.
Oh,
Well, I went for the Aaron Rodgers Award of putting something in your mouth award, foot normally. And don't be like that.
Allegedly.
The allegedly award of what's the craziest thing that anyone's done in the NFL season so far? And I still think that Aaron Rodgers still wins this by still going on the Pit McAfee show every single time he's been on that damn show. That man has won an award. So I'm still going to give it. I'm still giving it to Aaron Rodgers this year, even though it's his own award named after him, because he's still saying crazy shit even right now.
Allegedly.
So, allegedly award goes to
Allegedly,
Aaron
yes.
Rodgers for just being the allegedly
Just for being Aaron Rodgers. What more could you do? What more could you do? And then, of course, we had our Madden Challenge with Little Mo. Little Mo, you have an award to give for the Madden Challenge.
yeah. So the best player that did nothing like for us during the season but did well in the Madden Challenge is who I'm giving it to. I don't know what the award is. It's just an award, you know. And
Yes,
that goes to Zach Charbonnet. He
I
always
think Zach scored like
always-
10 touchdowns in your games.
Yeah, he would always score a touchdown. And he did
Yeah, he
nothing
always
for
scored a
us,
touchdown in
so-
games and didn't do anything for us.
Yep.
But that's, the Zach Charbonnet. I agree. The Zach Charbonnet Award for the Madden. I agree with that. That's a good one. Now, I did some foods and drinks, and real quick, I had some fun with the foods and drinks this season. My favorite food
Mayo.
is easy. It was not mayo.
Chimichangas.
You know,
That's
the
a
lamb
secret.
chops
That's
were a
not
bit
mayo.
disappointing, but Skyline
Chimichangas.
Chili is, I grew up on Skyline Chili, so I'm a little biased there, but and the drinks, the Witch's Brew wine tasted like vinegar and alcohol, but surprisingly, the Eagle Banana Bread beer was a real shock. And so I'm going to give that my favorite drink, because that was just odd that it would be that.
If anybody's curious, my favorite food was the chimichanga.
Oh,
Chimichangas.
well done. Well done, chimichangas. Well done.
What was your
So-
favorite?
None, because I'm a good boy and I'll drink before I can.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I was almost said Moscow Mule because it saved me from mayo. But and if you know what we're talking about, the wheel of stuff, look it up. So there it is, folks.
Wait, let's look it up.
Another fun-filled, joyous, somewhat mildly entertained 12-man Fan Jam Show awards. We hope you enjoyed the Fan Jammies as much as we did bringing them to you. And coming up after the break, we are going to play a little fun with the free agents. We're going to do a little There Can Be Only One. And we'll do that right after this. Good night, everybody, from the awards ceremony. Supposed to wave. All right.
You are watching the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production. Holy shit, it's the third quarter!
That'd be true. All right, welcome to the second half of episode 1124. We just had our 12-man Fan Jammies, and now we're going to finish up our season. One thing that we like to do before we go to probably the draft, we'll be coming back around draft time, maybe before that, is we like to look at the free agents that the Seahawks have, and we like to match them up in something called There Can Be Only One.
There can be only one.
Here's what I do to torture everyone. I give you two free agents, and they're both here, and you only have time to say one, and the other one disappears from the Seahawks forever. So, Andy,
Dramatic.
Hello.
Andy, there can only be one.
There can be only one.
Oh, there's only one Moses, that's for sure.
Yeah. Evan Brown or Phil Haynes. Both of them are guards. Who do you want?
Oh, that's a toss-up for me. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go Evan Brown.
Okay, why?
It's easier to spell. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, I don't really have any reason.
Does anybody want to challenge that?
I will.
You will. Why?
Evan Brown, because he's healthier. Phil Haynes is
No.
hurt.
Evan's healthier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's
Little
true.
Mo's not. Little Mo
Okay.
is not a fan of Phil Haynes. That's why I didn't give you this one.
Damian Lewis also.
Oh, Damian Lewis, right.
That
Anybody
guy
else
holds
want to
every
talk
game.
about Phil Haynes, or are we just going to let him go?
Let him go.
Let him go.
I don't really care enough for either one of them. They can both
All right.
go.
Chris,
Yes.
there can only be one.
There can be only one.
Drew Lock or DJ Dallas?
Oh.
That's a good
Ooh,
one. Ooh, that's actually a good one.
that's a tough one.
Because at first you say, well, there's not obvious answer, but you go, wait a minute. If I lose the other one, I'm losing the quality backup at that position. That has
Or special
contributed
teamer.
to this team.
Oh, a good special teamer.
Drew Lock.
Get rid of Drew. Are you keeping Drew?
Yeah, I'm keeping Drew Lock.
Okay, I would keep DJ
Me too.
for special teams.
I'm gonna
I
keep
agree
Drew.
with
The reason behind that being, I don't think they are going to keep, despite the fact they've just made his roster bonus complete. I think they are going to trade Gino. They are then going to keep Drew and then draft their quarterback. Whether that's in the first round at 16, whether they trade back a bit and try and get a second round pick, and then grab someone like Bo Nix or potentially Michael Penix Jr. Obviously, with the connections and everything, we know it's not guaranteed, but it's a possibility. And then they can use Drew as a sort of bridge on there, because his cap hit is going to be a lot lower than what Gino's is. And yeah,
Wow, that's a
where
good
I'm thinking on.
explanation.
Great
Anybody else
way
want to
better than
keep
mine.
Drew over?
Way better than my explanation.
Yeah, mine too. Anybody else want to keep Drew Lock over DJ Dallas?
Yeah.
That was a good answer.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
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 Okay.
I'd rather keep DJ Dallas, honestly.
Me
Oh,
too.
that's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know Dustin and
reason
I want to
why-
because we can go DJ Dallas. Meh, 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 meh.
Well, not only that, but DJ Dallas actually sees the field.
Yeah, yo, DJ sees the field. Nice. Yeah, that's a
DJ
tough
Dallas
one.
sees the field. Drew Lock does not. He's the backup.
Yeah,
And
but
also, DJ Dallas is fun. He is fun.
he is fun. He's a lot of energy, but so is Drew Lock. Dustin,
Yeah.
there can only be one.
There can be only one.
Okay.
Mario Edwards or Devin Bush?
Ooh.
Everybody hates Bush, don't they?
I got to shave. a
I
little
thought
bit.
it was
yeah.
Cheney.
Nobody likes hair in their
Oh,
mouth.
no, it was Bush. You're right.
So.
Ew.
sorry.
Ew.
Yeah. Interior linemen. We got to keep as many linemen as we can. The edge guys. They're awesome, but I mean, we can find more in the draft, hopefully, or free agency. I'd rather keep some hogs on the interior of the line. So
you're keeping Edwards, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone want to keep Devin Bush?
I do.
Why?
Just because I don't know. Wait.
he likes Bush.
Well, Devin Bush did choose the right jersey number. I'll give him.
Can
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what linebackers we're bringing back.
That's the
So,
question. And that's a tricky one because we got a lot
Yeah, I
of
agree.
linebackers that are free agents.
Yep,
And so from
all
that
three.
standpoint, Jose, I kind of lean with you a little bit because we don't know who we're going to have.
All 3 interior linebackers are free agents this year.
Right. So keeping him might not be a terrible idea.
But we also don't know what kind of scheme we're going to be doing. We don't really understand what the defense wants to do.
Truth.
And if nothing else, you need to have the guys on the defensive line to make things happen. So you want the big dudes.
If he's going to do the same thing he did in Baltimore, at least scheme wise, it's a 3. And Baltimore was 3-4, so they were a 3-4 defense. I know that for sure. So,
whack. Well, there could only be one.
There can be only one.
That one.
Leonard Williams or Rodero Taylor?
Daryl Taylor.
You mean Daryl?
Who's Taylor?
Leonard Williams or Daryl Taylor? Did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Daryl Taylor.
Leonard Williams.
I'm like, who?
So Leonard Williams, hands down.
Why?
More talented, more versatile, strong presence in the middle of the line. Daryl Taylor has flashed and on occasion, but is basically just a third down specialist at this point. He never took the next step and became a full 3-down player. And we just traded a 2nd-round pick for Leonard Williams. So I want to sign long term and get value for that.
Anybody want to say Daryl Taylor?
No.
Nope. I think we're good
If
there.
you
It kind of intrigues me a little bit because with Mike McDonald, he just did something with Clowney that nobody expected. So you kind of wonder if he recognizes the talent, if he was going to want to keep him and put him in a place where he can succeed. Maybe that's just his problem, is that in this defense that's been there for this long, maybe he's not put in a place where he can succeed.
Well, Mike McDonald has a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Matt.
Tom McDonald raps.
This is yours, Matt.
There can be only one.
Noah Fant or Colby Parkinson? Which tight end do you want to keep?
Well,
of course you give him the tight ends.
Indeed. Well, Colby Parkinson got 2 touchdown receptions. Fan got none. I think
Colby can do a man bun.
he can. And funny enough, I'm going to keep Colby. And the reason I would keep Colby is, again, Fant's done well for us. He's a good blocking tight end. I like tight ends that are a bit more explosive. I like tight ends that are a bit more faster. Just do a bit more turning. Don't laugh. Don't be rude. So I would keep Colby.
Explosive tight ends is Matt's thing.
I love an explosive tight end, and I think Colby's younger as well. So I'll go with that too for that reason.
Okay, anybody going to go with Noah?
I agree with Matt.
What's up, Jose?
Whichever one is cheaper.
Cheaper, okay.
Colby's
probably
cheaper.
would be Parkinson.
Part of it.
Part of what offense we're going to run. Because
what were you going to say, Will?
I was just going to say I agree with Matt. I mean, Noah Fant, 1st-round pick. He's got the name, but just never really made a huge impact.
No, not as much as he should have. Yeah,
but that's
it matters what
He's a big
offense we're gonna
dude,
run,
long
because
arms.
If we need a blocking tight end,
was that down more though to Pete's
exactly
refusal to use tight ends though?
That makes you wonder, Chris, because if he could use these tight ends, because we had Jimmy Graham, and what did Jimmy ever do for us?
Our new offensive coordinator, they use the tight end an awful lot at UW. So
and Noah Fant, I think, is a better receiving tight end than Colby Parkinson.
I agree.
There
you go. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Here's the last one, Little Mo.
No.
There can be only one.
Jordan Brooks or Bobby Wagner?
Jordan Brooks.
Because he's younger age?
Yep.
I totally disagree.
Bobby is a Band-Aid. Bobby would be a Band-Aid at that position.
I mean, Jordan needs a Band-Aid, though. Jordan's more injury prone than Bobby.
Bobby's a great leader. He just led the NFL in tackles again. He just can't go wrong with Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
He's born to be a leader.
until his legs fall off from playing middle linebacker.
They haven't fallen off yet. I think Bobby still got some years in him, in my opinion. But I think I'll be real sad if Bobby is not playing for the Seahawks next year.
I agree with Andy. I agree with Andy. 100.
Thanks, Jose.
100%. We need a leader on the team with this new coaching staff. So,
yeah,
Bobby, come back, Jordan. Go jump. Go jump somewhere.
Lomo?
I want them both back. It's just
yeah.
if I had to choose one or the other.
Yeah, you too.
Is I would choose Jordan Brooks because
But
of age.
you're going with the youth movement. I understand, even though he's often injured, he is faster than Bobby and more athletic than Bobby now, probably.
Yeah, and Bobby's
got the big numbers, and he's of course Bobby
Yeah.
Wagner, and he's leadership. So that's a tough one. That's
But
a
who
real
knows
tough
when he's
one.
all of a sudden gonna drop, and he's gonna drop.
We
fast,
certainly hope it doesn't
so.
come to that. So so there can be only one for this season. And now there's only one quarter left as we end the third. One more quarter left in the 11th season of your 12-man Fan Jam show. We'll be back to sum everything up. If we can possibly do that. And we'll do that right after this. You are watching the 12-man Fan Jam show. Hang in there. We're almost done. We'll be back in a minute.
What happens if we go into overtime? What are the rules?
Well, if we go into overtime, then we each get a chance to make a comment. And if the comment makes us laugh, then we go to another overtime.
Oh, okay.
These nuts.
It's the fourth quarter, bitches.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we are. The fourth and final quarter of 12-man Fan Jam show. The final quarter of the final show of the 11th season. Good news, guys. We got picked up for the 12th season, so we'll be back in April.
You paying us?
Around draft time. You looking for us then? God help us all. Jose always says that, we are 12. That is our age, and I think he's right.
Are you going to pay us this year?
You're going to get a raise. You're going to get a percentage raise from what you usually get. So 5% of zero is still zero. I'll roundtable everyone. I'll start with our guests. Chris, is there anything you want to say before we end the season?
No, just looking forward to the next season. I think this one has been an interesting year. And it's certainly, and going forward, it's going to be strange, as I started following the Hawks properly in sort of 2010. So I've only really known Pete Carroll to be our head coach, really. So it's going to be a bit sort of strange having somebody else up there and everything like that. So it's going to be an interesting time moving forwards. I said I'm looking forward to Aiden Durday's press conferences, and some of the language, some of the euphemisms and language we might actually recognise, because having watched that the one he did with Bump and Stacey, you do sort of see some of those sort of London idiomisms coming through and stuff like that. So looking forward to it. It's going to be great, and this is the way.
This is the way.
There will be a new one this year, and it is going to be the Spice Must Flow this year.
The Spice Must Flow. I like it. Jose,
thoughts? Thank you. Thank you, Pete Carroll, for turning me into a 12. Thank you, Dennis, Dustin, and Matt, Will, for letting me be part of this crazy family. Sometimes I wonder, what the heck did I sign up for? But I love you all.
Oh, trust me, we feel the same way.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you for helping us win.
Boo you and boo Chris.
I love you.
Yeah, we love you too, man. Andy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, yeah, no, same thing as the other guys are saying. Like, it's always great to be part of a group, and you guys are always a lot of fun. I appreciate being a part of the show anytime I can be. Always good to see you guys. Just excited about the season.
Yeah.
The end of the season always means change. Not all the changes are we always going to like, but it is what it is, and that's how we progress, hopefully, and we move forward. I think, I'm excited about hopefully getting out of this rut of just playing average. I want to be back to being great again, and I'm hoping some of the changes that we're going to make and the changes that are still to come in the draft and everything. I'm very optimistic. We're going to be great again. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I only hope that it's the Seahawks that are great again. I'm just going to leave that there.
Stop.
But yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, it was a definitely a time, I think, for change. The season was fun for the most part, ended on a sour note, but I think it's time for change. So I'm thankful for the journey that we went on with Pete Carroll and the Legion of Boom and all those guys that were involved. Looking forward to the next phase and this coaching staff that we have. Listening to the press conferences, like I said earlier, it excites me. I like their cerebral approach to how they're doing it. They seem like they approach things in a lot of ways like how I do in my job in radiology, where you're looking at how, especially with teaching students, how you look at how they think about things, their thought process, find ways to make them better at their job, because you're only as good as your weakest link, and you want to help people understand how to think and how to do the job properly. So it seems like these guys are really focused on the communication aspect, which is a huge part of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings.
Yeah, me too. Little Mo.
I have literally never watched a Seahawks game without Pete Carroll as the head coach. So this will be exciting for me. I'm excited for a bunch of new faces and hopefully a new offense and defensive play this coming up year. So
okay.
Yep.
Matt.
Yeah, obviously, I'd like to thank Pete Carroll for everything. I think that's the first one you have to thank this year. I think I'd also like to thank Aaron Rodgers for being absolutely ridiculous this year. I'd like to thank Pat McAfee for giving him a platform to be ridiculous upon, which then allows me to feed it straight into the podcast. I'd like to thank Earl. You remember Earl?
I remember.
Has sorted all my weather and stuff out for me over the course of this year. I'd obviously like to thank Dennis. Well done for everything you do, putting this show together, getting it out on time. Trying to hold us all together is not an easy task. You have failed again this year.
I'll keep doing it until I get it right.
There will be a review of your performance by the board.
Fair enough.
That will be bad.
Take a number.
That
There's
will
a
be
line.
awful.
There's a line. Take a number.
I'd like to thank all the guys on the posse as always. It's hard to believe that we're now approaching our 12th year of doing this silly show that no one listens to, but who cares? It's still good fun. It's always good to get together, guys, and have a good chat about football and other things. To guests and everyone that's been on the show this year, thank you very much indeed. Here's to next year. Here's to new coaching. Here's to new plays. Here's to new defensive looks. Go Hawks. Let's win some football games.
Will?
Well, I'd like to kind of piggyback off of that. I mean, there's literally thousands and thousands of podcasts out there, and this is one of them. But there are some pretty awful podcasts out there too. I mean, just ask Patrick Line about that one. But there's just something about getting together with friends and not just discussing what the latest things going on with the Hawks, but having a good time with it and just, giving each other good-natured grief, having some laughs, having each other's back, taking joy in the stuff that's going on, making fun of Dustin when he pops in and out 5 times in a single podcast, stuff like that. So I just
making fun of my jokes when they fall to his face.
Yeah, and the guests that come on and bring something a little different and taking time out of your schedule. So I just wanted to thank all you guys for making it fun. And whatever happens next year, I'm sure we'll find a way to make that fun.
He wasn't talking to you, Andy.
Yeah, he was. I could tell he was looking me right in the eye. Damn it.
This has been a crazy 12 months, personally, professionally, and on the podcast. So every Friday that we get together has become less and less about a Seahawks podcast and more about just friends getting together and talking about football. And that's really what this has been from the beginning. It's always what it'll be. I always said we're more Saturday Night Live and less 60 Minutes. We don't want to bore people with stats over and over. We want to have some fun, some laughs, do some stupid stuff that won't work, and some stupid stuff that will. But just the fact that we're having fun. And you guys, every Friday night, you take an hour and a half out of your evenings, and Matt, Case, and Chris, your early mornings, and you sit down and talk Seahawk football with us and have a laugh and have a giggle. It's something I've looked forward to for the last 11 years. I look forward to it in year 12. So I want to thank the posse and everyone associated with the show. If it's Posse Prediction Challenge, if you just watch the show, if you just turn it on and do something while you're listening to it or whatever. On behalf of all of the people here, I'd like to thank you for listening, for being here, for participating. And I'd like to personally thank all of you for allowing this little dream that Matt and I had go into its 12th season. Otherwise, it'd be just probably me sitting here talking to myself, which will not be as entertaining, I do not think. So
you do that already.
I do that already. So it is time to bring the 11th season of the 12-Man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We hope you learned a lot. We hope you laughed a little, you learned a little. And on behalf of everyone here, for those you see and those you don't, this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul and Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity, saying until next season, as always, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Hawks.
Water.
All right, time to break out the cigars.
We need to end the season on a cliffhanger one of these years.
I got the cigar.
Maybe
I love it when a plan comes together.
Nice.
Just a gunshot. End the season on a gunshot and see who doesn't come back next year.
Oh, there you go.
Boom.